hối hả với những chuyến công tác, tất bật với những kế hoạch báo cáo kinh doanh. Giống như bao nhà lãnh đạo khác, ông Juergen Braunbach, giám đốc điều hành công ty DB Schenker Vietnam, cũng đang trải qua những ngày cuối cùng của năm 2014 vô cùng tất bật, nhưng cũng không ít niềm vui và sự hứng khởi trước thềm một năm 2015 nhiều hứa hẹn.
Chào mừng quý vị đang đến với chương trình Nhịp cầu doanh nhân. Kính thưa quý vị, vào thời điểm này thì những người dân Việt Nam đang vô cùng hân hoan chuẩn bị cho không khí Tết đoàn viên, Tết cổ truyền trong gia đình của mình. Vậy còn những doanh nhân nước ngoài đang sinh sống và làm việc tại Việt Nam thì như thế nào? Hãy cùng chúng tôi tìm hiểu câu trả lời qua phần trò chuyện với ông Juergen Braunbach, giám đốc điều hành của DB Schenker Vietnam.
Xin chào, good morning.
First of all, thank you so much for you spending time for us for this talk show. As we know, at this time of the year, the CEO, the manager of any company is so busy because they have a lot of things to do. Can you share with us about this?
Yes, but I should say we are busy right through the year, and this time prior to Tet, not particularly so. So it's always a busy time, luckily for us. So because our business tends to be very good all year through.
Yeah, as I know, you have been working in Vietnam for around 20 years. It has been a long time. So do you have any experience to share with us about the celebrating Lunar New Year in Vietnam?
Well, yes, over the years there have been many different experiences, and of course, Tet is the most important time of the year for our Vietnamese colleagues, but it has become also very important to me and my family. And this is a period of year which I like to compare in its importance with our Christmas that we celebrate in Germany. And I think it's a very good tradition to have, to really focus on the family and not only on the business, to bring some balance to the work and life experience. Yeah. So over the years there were many nice experiences in Vietnam, of course, with the food, but what I also particularly like, that all of a sudden Vietnam becomes very quiet for a few days.
So, might I ask, as a leader and manager of a company, you have to arrange a reasonable schedule in work and boosting the morale of your staff in order to complete the work on time. Is it so hard? Could you share something about us, about something like this?
Well, let me take this opportunity to compliment all the DB Schenker staff in Vietnam on their morale. We have a lot of staff staying with us more than 10 years, 15 years, even 20 years already. And many of my colleagues here, both Vietnamese and foreign, are really what we call self-motivated. So there is not so much motivation to do on my part. So what, of course, is my job as a MD or a CEO of the company is to look at the overall conditions for everybody to work are pleasant, and that we offer good conditions for the individuals and for everybody. So no particular morale boosters necessary.
We have to say that in Vietnam at this time, the employees sometimes looking for the bonus or compensation activity policies. And with your experience running an enterprise so many years, do you have any tips to share with the enterprise?
Well, I think, of course, the Tet bonus is an important thing to do and to pay for any company, and it should be like that. Like in our case, I can share with you that this year we are giving more than 8 billion dong as a Tet bonus. That is besides the 13-month salary which we already paid last year. This comes on top. Yeah. So, but if the company is operating successfully, of course, so the benefits of the company should be shared with all stakeholders, so with all employees. So that is very important to me.
DB Schenker là đơn vị cung cấp dịch vụ vận tải và logistics của cơ quan đường sắt Đức với doanh thu và hiệu quả được xếp thứ 2 trên thế giới. Tại Việt Nam, DB Schenker đã hoạt động được hơn 20 năm, cung cấp dịch vụ giao nhận, vận chuyển và logistics cho các khách hàng hoạt động trong các lĩnh vực điện tử, thời trang, thực phẩm, dược phẩm, chăm sóc sức khỏe và các khách hàng khác. Hiện đơn vị này có hơn 10 cơ sở trên cả nước, cung cấp việc làm cho hơn 500 lao động. Gia nhập DB Schenker từ năm 1989, ông Juergen Braunbach đã trải qua nhiều năm làm việc tại các quốc gia khác nhau. Từ năm 1994, với vai trò giám đốc điều hành DB Schenker Việt Nam, ông đã chọn Việt Nam là quê hương thứ hai của mình, cùng với vợ và 2 con xây dựng cuộc sống tại thành phố Hồ Chí Minh.
Every enterprise must be really busy planning for the new year. How about you and DB Schenker Vietnam?
Yes, we also, next week we go into our management meeting, which we will hold next time, I say it again. So, yes, next week we go into our management meeting. This time we go to Phu Quoc and to plan together with the management team for the year ahead and take stock of 2014. And but overall, you can see that the Vietnamese economy will be growing at plus 6% again in 2015. So looking ahead, I'm quite optimistic both for 2015 as well as for the further years ahead. The next 5 years, I dare say, until 2020, will be very successful years for Vietnam.
In 2015, Vietnam is still focused on developing and investing in domestic terminal and international transportation. With your experience, do you have can you make some comments about the differences between Vietnam nowadays infrastructure and the last 20 years?
Right. So there was in the past a lot of comments about the poor infrastructure in Vietnam when it comes to logistics and all that, and ports and airports and roads. But I can tell you that since 1994, since I arrived here, a great many progress has been made. There were many doomsayers who predicted that traffic would collapse, that the port system would not support the growth in the container trade, for the ocean freight, and so on and so forth. But in actual fact, here in Ho Chi Minh City, for instance, we have with the SCSC and the TCS actually excellent air freight terminals, for instance, which are not only nice to have for Vietnam, but which are on an international level absolutely acceptable and on a very high standard. So in general, I should say that the infrastructure and logistics is not as poor as some people like to portray it. But indeed, because of the strong import-export growth in Vietnam, so in particular in Haiphong, maybe for the north, there needs to be more investments in ports. And but this is actually happening. I see that the government is very much aware and behind these issues, and the right decisions are being made.
Okay, thank you. Kính thưa quý vị, dù bận rộn đến đâu thì những người doanh nhân luôn muốn dành thời gian để đoàn viên bên gia đình của mình trong dịp Tết cổ truyền. Quý vị có tò mò xem không khí đón Tết của một gia đình doanh nhân nước ngoài như thế nào hay không? Hãy cùng chúng tôi theo dõi đoạn video clip ngay sau đây. I think not only me but also the viewer are so happy because our traditional holiday are warmly celebrated by you and your family. Can you share with us the feeling of your family when the New Year is coming?
Well, first of all, on behalf of my children, I should say that they are of course happy because there is a school holiday coming, right? So, and for the particular Tet feeling, yes, it is of course building up. It is not just the day prior to Tet, but it's actually the weeks prior to Tet, usually in the January, that there is a very, how to say, special feeling in the air in Vietnam, isn't it? Yeah, and and yes, I think after 20 years here, we have developed a sense and a feeling for that too, and happy to share that. A part of that, of course, January is always weather-wise possibly the most pleasant months of the year. It is not that hot, and plus this particular Tet atmosphere makes for a very good month.
I can see a very cozy atmosphere in your family. So I think have a successful business and a happy family at one time is quite difficult. Do you have any tips to share with me?
I think to answer your question, Ms. An, so I think for all of us, it is whether we are managers or working in different functions, these days it is very important to find a good work-life balance. And so yes, we are all busy during the week, and indeed also in my case, I don't see my family that much from Monday to Friday, but over the weekend I try to spend as much time as possible with my family, and so that actually I personally feel quite well.
You know, in Vietnamese culture, visiting other people, especially the partners, is really important. How is it to you?
This is unfortunately, I should say, that in these hectic times there is less and less time for this part of the tradition. Myself, I hardly find the time. I need to concentrate really on only the most important customers or the most important partners. But the way I still remember 10, 15 years ago, that we could go around and visit our key business partners, and so unfortunately both them as well as myself don't find the time anymore to continue that part of the tradition.
Yeah, we can do it through the email or Skype or something.
Right, no, we have to do it in different means, yeah.
Yeah. And in conclusion, in this very happy atmosphere, do you have any message to send to the viewer who also the enterprise?
I think my younger son is also born in the year of the goat, which is coming now, and I'm quite, despite the difficulties in the world economic sphere, which have been building up in the last few years, Vietnam is very well positioned to take advantage of it with a very good foreign direct investment inflow. So I'm optimistic, and I think we should be grateful also as foreign businesses to be here in Vietnam and to be part of the Vietnamese business community. And I think both 2015 and the years ahead will be good years to come. I'm rather optimistic.
What an interesting conversation we have, but unfortunately we do have more time, and on behalf of our group, I would say thank you to you for spending time with us. I wish DB Schenker will have a successful year in the next year, and you and your family will have a happy new year and a more wonderful life and experience in Vietnam. Thank you so much.
Chúc mừng năm mới and Happy New Year.